Success as a real estate agent. Welcome back to Reading Success as a Real Estate Agent. I am now on chapter 13, which is making your listing presentation a masterpiece. Prospects are potential clients who are interested in considering the service options you provide. That's the good news. The not so good news is that prospects seem to assume that all agents are cut from the same mold, that all agents do the same things in the same ways. This is especially true with the tech-savvy consumers who are empowered by border access to information about real estate. That access is as close as their phone or tablet. The technology accentuates the sameness of real estate agents. Most agents have a website and use Instagram, Facebook, TikTok to create an online persona that is larger than life, even if they sell only on one home a year. With technologies like IDX Systems and Zillow's premier agent status, agents with no listings seem like agents with lots of listings. An agent can hide their lack of sales skills, experience, and knowledge behind the flash of technology. Few consumers realize that when a property comes on the market and they see it online through Zillow or Realtor.com, the agent or agents they see name tag next to the property had to purchase that ad position, and usually they are not the listing agent of that home. Most online buyers probably assume that they are the listing agent. Consumers are truly unaware of the different skill systems and philosophies various agents bring to the job and the huge difference in results they achieve. Too many consumers view agents with a commodity mindset. A commodity is interchangeable and selected primarily based on price. Want an example? I was pushing a grocery cart through the produce section of the grocery store a few days ago. I had my son, Wesley, with me. He loves bananas. So we put some in the cart. They were 99 cents a pound. In the next aisle, I saw a different brand of bananas for 59 cents a pound. Guess what happened? I took the original bananas out of my cart and put the cheaper bananas in. Wesley isn't brand sensitive when it comes to 40 cents a pound. That is a commodity mindset. Too often, real estate agents are viewed as a branch or a bunch of bananas. Most listing presentations sound about the same, so it's no big surprise that the prospects frequently make their selection based on the highest listing price and lowest commission rate. This chapter helps you set yourself apart. It provides the steps to follow as you convey your differences, distinctions, and competitive advantages in presentations that are planned, practiced, rehearsed, and perfected. No more winging in. They're about to move into the league of the best, most preferred real estate agents. Qualifying your listing prospects. The success of a listing presentation is determined by what you do before you even walk through the door. Most agents enter the meeting flying blind, ill-prepared, and obvious to the needs, wants, desires, and expectations of the prospects. In this section, I coach you through the questions to ask and strategize to implement before you meet with any seller. Using questions effectively before your listing presentation. Ask questions that enable you to obtain important information about the customer's desires, time frame, motivation level, experience, and expectations of the outcome and service. Without this information, you can't possibly serve the client well. You won't be able to sell your value as well either. Many salesperson, especially in real estate sales, think that they're offered the customer if they ask questions. Here's an analogy that should put your mind at ease. Imagine you're sick and schedule a doctor's appointment. You arrive. The doctor enters to exam room and you look up and say, guess what sickness I have today? From across the room, the doctor is supposed to assess your symptoms, diagnose your ailments, and prescribe a cure without checking your ears or throat, listening to your lungs and heart, or most importantly, asking your questions about what's wrong and how you feel. It sounds ridiculous, yet it's what real estate agents do when they try to serve clients without first asking questions to determine their wants, needs, and expectations. Without good client information, a listing presentation becomes an explanation of your services and service delivery system. But what is the prospect sitting in front of you who wants to be served differently? Then what? The customer ultimately determines whether your service is outstanding, fair, or poor because the customer judges for the quality of service received. And the only way to start the service process is to learn what customers want rather than trying to guess their desires and expectations. Additionally, your level of service satisfaction determines the level of referral volume you receive from the client in the future. Make this pledge to yourself right now before you enter another listing presentation. You will always have asked your prospects quality questions in advance. Knowing why and how to question listing prospects. Question prospects for too many reasons. To safeguard your time by questioning prospects before you meet with them, you assess their motivation, desire, need to take action, ability to act, and authority to make selling decisions. You also assess the odds that the prospects will result in income producing activity. The questioning process increases your probability of sales success by determining which prospects are likely to result in commission revenue and which are likely to consume hours without results. To determine their service expectations, what kind of service do they expect? What selling approach do they follow? Is there a match between your philosophy and theirs? If not, can you convey them to your approach is better than their preconceived notion of what and how you should represent their interests? If not, are you willing to turn down the business? The only way to address their issues is to learn what your prospects are thinking before you make your presentation. Before you enter a listing presentation, diagnose the situation you're entering and the opportunity it presents by learning the prospect's answers to key questions. I recommend that you acquire this base of knowledge over the phone when you're scheduling the presentation appointment. If you wait until you're face-to-face with the prospect, it may be too late. By then, you want to be offering a tailored presentation, not acquiring baseline information. Focus your pre-appointment questions around the following 4 topics. Motivation and time frame. Ask questions that reveal how badly the prospects want to buy or sell. In what time frame? Simple questions include, where are you hoping to move? How soon do you need to be there? Tell me about your perfect time frame. When do you want this move to happen? Is there anything that could cause you not to make this move? Experience. A prospect's view of the real estate profession is filtered through personal experience and experiences related by friends and family members. The following questions help you gauge your prospect's real estate agent's background preconceptions. How many properties have you sold in the past? When was your last sales experience? What was your experience with that sale? How did you select the agent you worked with? What did you like best and least about what the agent did? And price and following questions help you gauge the prospect's motivation or desire to sell. They also help you determine whether the prospect is realistic about current real estate values. Let me share an old real estate sales truth. The more the seller wants to set the initial list price above fair market value, the lower the motivation to sell. The closer and tighter the initial list price is to fair market value, the higher the motivation. Listen carefully to the answers to the following 3 questions. They'll reveal whether a prospect is ready to sell or just fishing for a price. How do you want to list your home for tonight? How did you arrive at the value for your home? If a buyer came in today, what would you consider to be an acceptable offer for your home? If you want to approach the seller with a softer series of questions in the pricing area, you might try these. Most people do a little investigation on real estate values before they sell their home. What have you found? Most people have a general idea of what they want for their home. What's yours? And service expectations. Learning your prospects. Service expectation is absolutely essential to a good working relationship, but I caution you to when you begin to ask the service related questions, you're likely to hear silence on the phone. Likely to the prospects have never met a service provider considered enough to ask what they want, value, and expect. As a result, you may have to probe and ask follow-up questions to help the prospects open up and enter a dialogue. What do you expect from the real estate agent you choose to work with? What are the top 3 things you're looking for from as an agent? And what will it take for you to confident that my service will meet your requirements? Following your phone interview use the answers to questions in each of the 4 categories as you compile a qualifying questionnaire on the prospect. Provide a good format to follow. Declining on a 1-step or 2-step listing presentation. When I say 1-step or 2-step, I'm not talking about dancing through. Many agents feel that is what they're doing with some sellers, and my goal has always been to help agents fill their dance cards. The real problems arrive when you're doing the cha-cha and the selling wants to waltz. Silly stuff. Cha-cha and waltz and all. Anyways, let's take a break. See you guys next time. Bye. Thanks for successful real estate time. And remember to like, subscribe, and comment.